So this is my breakfast. It's a little late for breakfast. It is now, 2:30 p.m. on Saturday, March 8th, 2025. I was kept up not by my own decision making or inability to sleep most of the night by the ongoing use of a directed energy assault device. An electronic assault device is actually pretty simple to create if you know anything about electronics and how energy works. And this electronic assault device has been repeatedly used to electronically assault me over the last 5-6 years by the Greenville Group's resident paid sponsored psychopath, Jasmine Irizarry, who claims to be a BLM activist who is getting paid to take care of problems. Irizarry is a pretty disturbed, obsessive, compulsively harmful psychopath, and I worked with her therapy team in 2006, which was now 19 years ago, back at the Shattuck Hospital when I was a PhD student in clinical psychology doing a clinical practicum training at the Shattuck Hospital. Irizarry at the time was some kind of a adolescent, I believe. I never directly worked with her, but I worked with members of my PhD program who were part of the therapy team who were working with Irizarry. And even back then, Irizarry was a psychopath who would compulsively vomit on staff and other inpatients, I guess, to try to contaminate them with the viral disease that she carries and that is transmitted through body fluids. So the staff had to gown up around her. And one of my friends from my PhD program was really annoyed because she had to wear protective gear whenever she was doing group therapy with Irizarry. Irizarry did not go far in life. The Shattuck Hospital is a DMH-run mental inpatient facility that is literally 1.5 miles down the road from this building. And Irizarry graduated by moving 1.5 miles down the road to this holding pen for mentally disturbed sex offender scumbags. And I say sex offender scumbags because sex offenders have a very high recidivism rate. They do not want to get better. They can't control their compulsive masturbating lifestyle and their perving and creeping pedophile tendencies. I really don't know why they can't control that. I mean, I have a thing for chocolate and for sugar and also for cheeseburgers, but I don't eat a lot of cheeseburgers. They're not healthy for you. They have high cholesterol. They make you fat, and sugar is really bad for you as well. So my sugar intake is limited. I actually don't have any chocolate right now in my apartment. So if you want to control your behavior, you can, but pedophiles don't. They like little children. They have this thing for children. And there's a number of pedophiles who live in this building who seem to have a thing for the children in my family. I don't even know how they know that these children exist. I don't have pictures of my nieces and nephews on my phone. I don't really make videos about them unless I mention them in passing as just sort of, my family. But the pedophiles in this building seem to have a thing for my young nieces, and they know that they exist. And Jason DaCosta is one of the pedophiles who would get really violent and agitated when I would maybe have some brief chats with one of my nieces on the phone. He would start slamming things against the wall and screaming and shouting her name and accurately describing her physical appearance, which is really a concern because, again, she doesn't even live in this area. She lives in another state. So there's something very creepy and weird going on with respect to the psycho trash in this building, the pedophiles, the BLM sex offenders. I mean, they're all BLM activists, supposedly, who engage in all kinds of crime and criminal activities and stalking and perving and creeping under the banner of BLM activism. No, you're not a BLM activist. You're a perving, creeping piece of shit, you low-life scum. Leave little children and women alone, you fucking psycho rapists. Just check out my channel and look at the comments that these so-called BLM activists keep making on my videos that have nothing to do with them. So, I have a extensive education in multiple scientific fields. I have a master's equivalency in tumor biology and angiogenesis from Harvard Medical School, where I worked for 14 years as a master's level research scientist and co-authored a number of scientific studies published in some of the highest end scientific journals on the planet at the master's level. You can just Google my last name. You'll find some of my publications published in the European Journal of Cancer, American Journal of Pathology, Journal of Cancer Research, Journal of Laboratory Investigation, et cetera, et cetera. I have over a dozen scientific studies with my name co-authored under those titles and under those journal titles. I also have a PhD education, PhD level education in clinical developmental psychology. I did not finish the PhD, but I did 5.5 years full time and went way beyond the master's level in terms of my clinical training, my research study that was published and presented nationally at the American Psychological Association's National Convention. My teaching, I taught for 3 years, had to create tests, had to create exams, worked with students, had office hours, did lectures, lectured extensively as my part of my student teaching endeavors. And I have a 5.5 year full-time master's, which is a PhD, ABD, basically, in clinical developmental psychology. So when I observe things happening in my immediate environment that are directed towards me and indirectly my family, then I have the right to be concerned and to speak out about that. And one of those things is that the Department of Mental Health, in conjunction with the Greenville Group, have been dumping large numbers of recidivist pedophile sex offenders into this building complex. And unfortunately, I've had to live directly next door to a number of them over the last 8 to 10 years, starting with a pedophile named Mark Collins, who lived in the unit behind this wall right here, followed by another sex offender pedophile, filthy piece of trash named Michael Collins, who lived behind that wall for 5 years, and for 5 years wouldn't stop harassing me whenever I did things in this unit that he should have no knowledge of. Things like bending over. Every time I bent over to like wipe the floor or to pick something up off the floor or put like a banana in my mouth, Mr. Collins would violently start getting aggressive directly behind this wall. He would shout things in the hallway. I couldn't use the toilet in my bathroom without Mr. Collins getting all aggressive against this wall. Next thing you know, you get another piece of shit in here. I can't remember what his name was. He only lived in there for about 6 months, but he tried to violently assault me in the hallway a few times. So then he was moved across the street to 191 Green Street. Now you have Mr. Jason DaCosta, another perving, creeping, compulsively masturbating piece of psycho trash, because I call him psycho trash because he doesn't think there's anything wrong with his behavior, and he's not seeking help for his behavioral issues and his perving and creeping, wanking lifestyle. He thinks that's perfectly okay, and he shoves it down the throat of everybody else around him. That is a piece of psycho trash. When I say psycho trash, I am not referring to people with, significant concerns about their health, their mental health, and who are seeking help. Some people even check themselves into inpatient facilities, and God bless them for that. I am more than willing to work with them on their issues when they are willing to do something about their issues. But when they're not, as far as I'm concerned, they're just rejects that are psycho trash and that run around creating problems for the rest of society, committing crimes, molesting children, assaulting women, masturbating in public or in semi-public, et cetera, et cetera. And these are the tenants that the Greenville Group are housing in large numbers under the banner of BLM activism. Why does BLM recruit and use so many mentally disturbed career thugs? I don't know, but they're basically a terrorist organization that has been defunded extensively by Amazon. They're no longer on Amazon's donation platform because nobody donates to BLM anymore. Their global, basically their collective global donations dropped to like well below $1 million last year, which is like nothing. That's like a penny, basically, globally speaking. And they're a joke because they embezzle millions of dollars on hookers, strippers, and peep show workers. And Candace Owens, one of my favorite ladies out there, love the Black ladies. Thank you, ladies, for speaking out against these pieces of perving, creeping psycho trash at BLM. Candace Owens made a fantastic hour-long documentary on how BLM is nothing but a bunch of perving, creeping, wanking sex offenders. Well, you see that right here in this building complex. I have no problem with anyone's skin color. I worked for Barack Obama's reelection campaign. I've always been a fan of guys like Eddie Murphy and Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson and Herman Cain, who was a brilliant American businessman. Barack Obama, brilliant American politician, really well-spoken guy. I love Barack, but he's not a BLM psycho thug, okay? And neither is Michael Jordan. Neither is Senator Tim Scott. I love Tim Scott. I really wish he had been selected as vice president, but I think that because he has a strong personality and so does Donald Trump, I'm not sure they would have gotten along as well as maybe the Trump and J.D. Vance combination, but I can only speculate on that. Tim Scott is a great guy, very intelligent, very successful. I don't see him running around perving and creeping and wanking as part of a BLM psycho troll patrol, okay? Anyway, my point is there's been a lot of aggression, harassment, and stalking directed towards me because well, I don't know. I live in this building and I'm not like I'm not a sex offender, I guess. I keep to myself. I pay my own rent out of pocket. I always have had to pay my own rent out of pocket, aside from a few years during the pandemic and after the pandemic when I could not cover my rent. And then when the landlord decided to take me to court because I was complaining about bad conditions in this unit, I did not pay rent out of pocket. I was receiving rental assistance. Now I have to pay it out of pocket again. That seems to be some kind of a threat to the establishment of this building complex, and they've been doing everything they can to engage in a lot of unlawful landlord-tenant harassment. The landlords are the Greenville Group. They seem to be part of a greater real estate conglomerate, the parent company of which I am not aware. However, there is a British real estate company called the Grosvenor Group that seem to have some kind of a connection to the Greenville Group, and they are headed by Hugh Richard Louis Grosvenor, who is the head of the Grosvenor Group. And also he is the heir to his family's title, which is a 1,000-year-old dukedom. And he's sitting on 9 billion British pounds right now. Mr. Grosvenor has been directly engaging in some harassment activities directly towards me. And I don't even know why. But he has been, and I've been getting these messages from, let's say, his secretary, a lot of messages from his secretary about how he is blocking my employment attempts and has been blocking my employment attempts over the last few months. One of the first clinics that I interviewed at 2 months ago when I started my job search in the field of clinical psychology at the master's level because of my educational achievements in that field and the fact that I have a PhD level education from that discipline. That clinic received messages from Mr. Grosvenor that they shouldn't hire me. And the director, who at the time I thought she was great, she was basically relaying this to me. Mr. Grosvenor is a billionaire. He's also a stupid adolescent because he was born in the 90s and apparently his brain is still developing. I mean, anybody who behaves the way he does, you just have to look at their brain and be like, what is wrong with him? Why is he picking on the little guy? And I am so beyond the little guy where billionaires like him are concerned. I don't even know why he would bother. But apparently he is bothering, and he has a connection to the Greenville Group, probably through his own real estate conglomerate that he runs and is in charge of. So last night, I made a video speaking directly to Mr. Grosvenor because he's not happy about me speaking out against the BLM perving, creeping, wanking psycho trash in this building who are targeting not just me, but the children in my family and who know the existence of the children in my family, even though they've never been to this building. I do not bring the kids in my family to this building or anywhere near it. I do not post pictures of them on my YouTube channel or anywhere on my YouTube page unless it's a really brief, quick clip. How do the perving, creeping pedophiles in this building complex know anything about my family and about the children in my family? Oh, because they're BLM activists who just hate stalk white people because they have nothing else to do for some strange reason. They don't do anything to uphold and uplift the Black community. They just hate stalk white people just for the heck of it. So apparently, because I live in this building, I am on their target list. And apparently, BLM being BLM, they try to cock block everything that you try to do that might elevate you out of their reach. My attempts at finding master's level clinical work over the last 2 months have been repeatedly blocked by BLM going to Mr. Grosvenor himself. I don't even know why they chose him. I mean, doesn't he have other people working at his company? And they reached out to Mr. Grosvenor and told him that I was being mean to them because I refused to have anything to do with them. Well, it's not their skin color, you idiots. It is because they're a bunch of mentally disturbed, violent, aggressive, hate-stalking sex offenders who have been harassing me and my family for over 8 years now. It has nothing to do with skin color. As I keep saying, skin color has nothing to do with anything. Right? Nothing. You are not responsible for your skin color. Therefore, I do not hold anyone's skin color against them. I don't care about anyone's skin color. I care about their behavior. And when a group of psycho trash pedophiles in this building target me and my family under the banner of BLM activism and then claim that we're racist because we don't want to provide them with any favors, we don't want to give them money or sexual, they think that I owe them some kind of sexual favors because I'm a single female living in this building. Are you kidding me? Go jump off a cliff. Hey, BLM, women's bodies are not party favors. #MeToo. So go jump off a cliff, BLM, and leave women alone. But Mr. Grosvenor, being a stupid millennial who lives in a bubble and resides over in England in his estates, has no idea about any of this and is bending over backwards to accommodate the hate stalking BLM psycho trash in this building and has been blocking my employment attempts for 2 months. Last night, I got a message from his secretary telling me to stop speaking out against BLM and posting videos about them. So I posted a direct response in a video last night on my channel, and it had already gotten 4 views about 10 minutes after I had posted it to my channel. Guess what? Now it's gone. That video has been removed from my channel and I haven't touched it. That's weird and creepy. Why would a video that I posted about Hugh Richard Louis Grosvenor, head of the Grosvenor Group, some kind of parent company of the Greenville Group or associate company of the Greenville Group, suddenly delete a video from my YouTube channel when I haven't done anything to delete it? I wanted to keep it up, but it has gone. It has suddenly disappeared. It's gone. So I'm right. Why would that one video that I posted about Hugh Richard Louis Grosvenor being a BLM asset, basically, because when he's acting on behalf of these hate stalking, rejected BLM pedophiles, then he is an asset to what they are doing. He is an accessory. Why would that video suddenly mysteriously disappear? Not just from my YouTube channel, but I can't find it on my phone. Huh. Could it be that Hugh Richard Louis Grosvenor and the psycho trash hate stalking pedophile named Jasmine Irizarry, who claims to be an IT expert, are working together? This is not a conspiracy theory. This is something that I observed because the video I made about that was deleted from my channel between last night and this morning. Where is that video? I can't find it. It's not on my phone. It's not on my channel. Huh. So what I'm saying about Jasmine Irizarry being a career criminal who works on behalf of the Greenville Group and also apparently on behalf of the Grosvenor Group. Oh, they sound kind of similar. I'm correct. And so is Oleg Alisyev, her handler at the Greenville Group, who claims that she's such a talented hacker, she can get into anything. I've been noticing over the last 10 years that many of the videos I've made about Jasmine Irizarry and her accessory, her handler, Mr. Oleg Alisyev at the Greenville Group, have disappeared from my phones. That's how I figured out that it was her. My phones were being remotely disabled and contents deleted based on what they had to do with her. And now a video I just made about how Mr. Grosvenor, Duke of Westminster, is working with the psycho trash, the BLM pedophile, hate stalking rejects here at the Greenville Group to block my employment, to prevent me from being able to pay the rent in this unit because the BLM hate stalking rejects don't want a successful white female living in their building. They don't want any white female living in their building unless she's lying on her back, providing them with sexual favors that they think women owe them across the board. Because BLM are a bunch of perving, creeping, pedophile filth who engage in all kinds of hate stalking, psycho thug activities on a regular basis, and that's why they've been deplatformed by Amazon. But you can't tell this to the Duke of Westminster, Mr. Hugh Richard Louis Grosvenor, because he deletes the videos from your phone, or at least his personal friend, the pedophile Jasmine Irizarry, deletes them from my phone, and then these videos are never seen again. So again, I'm right. When you put out these crazy theories out there like I do, because I'm a scientist and that's what scientists do, you put out a theory based on your personal observations and then you start testing it out and you see if there's any validity in your theory. And people start getting all jiggy and worked up and agitated, deleting things from your phone, slamming things against the wall, using surveillance devices in your bathroom, calling you all kinds of names, making all kinds of false accusations against you, then you're right. This is a social experiment, not a scientific one, but I'm certainly getting the same exact results when I put out my theories out there as I did when I was doing scientific experiments in the lab and was getting some strange results. I'm getting some strange results, and that's a reaction. So I'm right. Hugh Richard Louis Grosvenor, the 7th Duke of Westminster, is somehow working directly with the BLM hate-stalking pedophile psycho trash in this building to get me out of here. That's exactly what they want. They want to block my employment. They don't want me to live here. They're using directed energy weapons, as Irizarry has admitted to doing in writing on social media. They're using electronic assault devices like directed energy weapons to electronically assault me when I do one of 3 very specific things in this unit that nobody should have any knowledge of because those activities are completely silent. And it happens all the time when I try to do one of those 3 activities, which are very basic. There's nothing weird about it. Using the toilet, showering, lying on my bed. When I do any of those three things, at any point, Irizarry starts literally going to town like the psycho piece of shit that she is, electronically assault me constantly while I'm lying on my bed, and this goes on for hours. I have reported it to the police. They don't have the equipment to diagnose and identify high EMF levels, but you know what? Amazon does, and they sell electromagnetic frequency meters for about $350. So, you know, I need to get one of those meters and put this shit on the map. But again, this is very interesting. I think I'm onto something because Mr. Grosvenor and the video that I made to him last night have completely disappeared, not just from my channel, but from my phone. So I'm making another one. Yep. Good luck to you, Mr. Grosvenor. You don't know who you're up against. And I don't care if you're sitting on 9 billion pounds. You don't deserve any of it if you're acting up against innocent little everyday citizens such as myself who are just trying to get honest work and pay their rent on time. You fucking piece of shit. Go jump off a cliff, Hugh Richard Louis Grosvenor. Your grace, you're a fucking joke and you're an embarrassment to your 1,000-year-long lineage of European aristocracy. I think your ancestors would be embarrassed about you. But have fun with BLM, the perving, creeping, pedophile psycho trash, because they're turning against you next. They're just using you. They don't like you at all. They can't stand what you represent, Hugh. And so good luck to you when they turn on you too.